Okay, again, the social identity group model is the basic building block for societal systems. And the societal system, of course, is a system because it combines multiple social identity groups within an existential and productive function to where they can work together for common cause. In order to better understand the social identity group model and to distinguish it from the more familiar statistical model of a normal distribution and the central limit theorem, I've populated the social identity group and with members. And the members array themselves, as I've described, according to a normal distribution in relationship to the central group norm. So unlike statistical central limit theorem, Gaussian distributions which measure the distribution of individual traits across a single x-axis measure, which is a so-called R methodology, this is based on a social identity group's Gaussian form, results from a subjective distribution according to a dualistic, essential and exclusive behavioral disposition. And this measurement of subjective qualities of social behavior has been termed Q methodology. So it's this combination of traits that determines any individual's behavioral disposition and their relationship to other group members. In this case, and in all cases, this is determined by a combination of instrumental and associational traits. So, looking at the individuals, each individual is now represented by a circle, and this circle is an actual person, and this person in any of these spaces within the social identity group has this combination of social action proclivities that can be measured according to a combined preference for sociational and instrumental strategies. And so the individual thinks strategically at all times and acts accordingly. And so over a period of time, looking for patterns in that individual's behavior, an individual that measures high on sociational disposition and low on instrumental disposition will in almost all cases prefer to comply with the social group norms, will act cooperatively with other group members, and in only a special small subset of cases will see the necessity or the utility of using a limited amount of instrumental activity to better manage conflict with other individuals within the group. And basically we'll do this institutionally through established institutional procedures based on social justice. And so the group is populated by a majority of individuals that actually have a stake in the system, who have a stake in the group, in maintaining the group's identity, who voluntarily comply with the norms or the laws of the group, and is led by the most well-skilled and those groups, those individuals who most strongly promote group interests, even at the detriment of their own individual interests. Although in most cases societal elites will converge their own individual interest with the group interest, and so there is very little dissonance within this proto-state individuals. Of course, there is variation with the proto-state that varies from slightly active to slightly reactive, and this gives a lot more pragmatic potential to group leadership, that in times of crisis or in times of need, either the reactive elites in a time of crisis or the active elites in times of need will come to the fore and will become more prominent in guiding the policy, the active policies and the behaviors of the social group. At times of normal politics, non-crisis, it's the proactive elites that will be salient and will have the greatest say in promoting group interests. On the other hand, in the tails of the Gaussian distribution, these are populated by largely asocial, and largely individuals with proclivities to use force and coercion in their relationships. And so just to illustrate this, I've colored these in the very tails of the distribution, the extremists using less coercion and being more conducive to social organization, individuals who we might term militants. They're naturally militant. And this should be distinguished from military activities. Military activities are more instrumental than police. And so if you want to array individuals who would act as police, police would be slightly more instrumental in their disposition than other individuals or more proactive individuals within the group. But still limited by the rule of law, and so they would act actively to promote the rule of law, or reactively if the rule of law is broken. Using more instrumental force, the military, and so a large reason why militaries have over time become dissociated with acting within the group are that they're more inclined to use instrumental force, which is detrimental to maintaining amicable and productive group relations. But they can be very useful in dealing with intergroup relationships. And so they're not inherently asocial necessarily. They can be useful, but only under certain circumstances. Why we don't see more militant or extremist activity in well-developed social groups is that there are inhibiting factors. That even though individuals have dispositions to use more instrumental strategies in their relations with group members, in most cases they're inhibited from acting on those dispositions. That the group actually, in most cases, due to its production of public goods and its incorporation of social safety nets and the way it forms its communities, it actually draws down the proclivity of these individuals to act out on their dispositions and tries to control their behavior through various mechanisms or inhibit that behavior through threat of sanction, through peer pressure, and through socialization. It doesn't change the nature of these individuals. The best that can be hoped for is to minimize their effect on the group itself. So the basic message is that extremists and militants are a natural part of the societal unit, the social unit, and the social unit in a proactive way has to find mechanisms for inhibiting the actual acting out of these individuals within the social group setting.